Hi folks, this is Rose from In Rose's Garden, and today we're going to work on a pair of earrings using our Wonderland Design Challenge Kit from SoftFlex wire. Now this is going to be made more or less the same as the one pair of earrings I made for the Jesse James Beads Magical Mystery Bead Box book club. I believe they were the Frankenstein earrings with the double hoop, with the upper one being hammered. That's what we're going to do again today. And so let's turn down and we'll get started on those. Here is our pile of beads and such. These are our charms that we're going to put on our earrings. And of course, here's our ear wires. We've got two large rings for putting the for putting the two rings together. So each one has two of the rings. Now I would use smaller ones, but you need the bigger ones so that the wires don't bag up as you put them together, because if you use a smaller wire, they can't lay side by side, and then the upper one goes like this. So it forms a weird little wonky thing. So you need the bigger jump rings so that they'll lay more or less flat against each other. So, and we have two little ones to put the ear wires on. It looks like I need two more little ones because I forgot to get any to put on my charms. So we'll need to get two more little ones, and I will do that in just a second. But in the meantime, what we're going to do is, might as well divide these up some. So this side, these go on this other earring, and this one will go on the first one we do here. But what we're going to do is, this is going to be our charm. And then on the lower ring, we're going to put these two pretty green beads, spacer, the hexagons, spacer, and little green beads. So they'll go up the edge like so, and then we'll have, of course, the upper ring when we get that on there. So, like I say, we need to put the charms on some little jump rings. So we will get those in a moment. In the meantime, we need our wire. This is 18 gauge. It's the smallest I would use for flattening, which is what we're going to do, of course, with the upper wire. And we're going to go with 3.5 inches. So let's cut a couple of pieces of 3.5 inches here. Let's get these out of our way. We don't want to break them. This is our wire for our lower. It's 20 gauge. So we're going to get two pieces of 3.5 and cut that. Come on, baby. There we go. We got one piece. Now, before we cut the other one, we want to cut this little sharp edge off, because your flush cutters cut this one nice, but when you do it, they cause a notch on the other side. And that's fine. We just need to make sure we take that off. So we need our two 3.5 inch. Getting a bow right there now. We don't want that. So here's our second. They should be about the same size. Looks like they are. Good. One for each. Put the rest aside. Now we'll want 4 3/4 for the bottom. Remember, they have to be at least an inch of difference, and a little bit more than that is better if possible. Now, I would prefer using the bigger wire, the heavier wire for this as well, but the heavier wire, the little beads will not go on it because they have too small holes. So we will put this, go 4 3/4. cut this little bad spot out, and 4 3/4 again. Come on all the way to the end. There we go. And there's our second 4 3/4. And now we need to put this wire up as well. So the first thing we want to do, I don't need that right this second, so put that up there, is we're going to get our wire mandrel out, and we're going to form our loops. So get this more or less in the middle, bring her around as much as possible, and you want them to be about the same size. So as far as your wire, see how this one is a little bit bigger than this, so let's bend it over here a little bit more. So there we go for the first one. Let's get our second one done at the same time. Make sure which one we wrapped around. Looks like it was this one. Oop, come back here. Put our wire here in the center, bring her all the way around. Then when you get over here to the other side, see how this one side is looking like it's going to be a little different? Well, now we've got it close to each other, so we'll bring them down like so. See how they match up with our buddy over here. They're looking pretty good, though. This one looks to be a bit bigger still. Let's put it back on, and we will wrap it just a little more. There we go. Now they're looking pretty good to each other, so that's great. So those can sit aside. And now we'll do the smaller one. And we're going to go up here to this bigger one here. And again, you want to get these about the same length. Now I'm going to go down to this one to bring this further together. And as you can see, this one is longer. We don't want that. So we will pull this a little bit like so. Now we're going to go and do the second one. Down to that size, and I'm going to hold this one because this one looks like it needs to come over here some. I don't know if you can see that. See, now I've got them pretty much the same. Let's see what they look like to each other. They look pretty good. So the next thing I'm going to do, so we'll keep this to the side because we may not need it again, is I'm going to take my bell making pliers. I'm going to use this smaller side right here, and we're going to make a loop on one side of these. Just one, because this one has to have its beads put on it, and if we do both, we can't get the beads on, of course. So let's just get the second one. So now we've got these two done, and we're going to need to do these. We'll do both on this one, these though. Get these things a little bit more out of my way because we do not want to smash anything. Let's look at this, and then we'll go get these guys' loops done. Just don't be difficult, little one. Now, as I said, because we're not going to put beads on this one, we can do both loops right now before we hammer them down. So there we go. Now, after we hammer them, we're going to have to bring these in much closer to each other because we're going to want them pretty close so that when we put them all together, they're not way far away. Oop. So there's number 2. Still looking pretty good. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get out our steel block. And because we want to work harden these, we're going to use our nylon hammer on those and just work harden these somewhat. Okay, put this one over here. Now we'll do the same with this one. Now we're going to compare these again to make sure I didn't get them really wonked up. They both look pretty good. So put one on either package of beads here. Now we want to take our chasing hammer and we're going to smash down our loops here. We're going to flatten them. Now you may want to turn down your sound because it's going to get loud. Now we're going to texture these. Of course, the loops don't need textured. They're going to be way up there, so. As you can see, they're going out of shape, and I was expecting that. And that's all right. We will get them back into shape with each other once we have them both hammered all the way. So let's get the other one out. Now this is 18 gauge wire, and I would not use a smaller size for this. Quite frankly, I didn't look, but if I had done so and found my 16 gauge, I probably would have used that. It would have made a nice, really, it would have been slightly wider as far as the flat was concerned, and I think it would have looked really much better. Well, I don't know, much better, but I think I would have liked it better. Okay, flip it, do the other side. Ouch. That is one thing you have to be careful of when you're hammering, is to not clip the side of your fingers, which I just did. So now we're going to texture this baby. I think it's as flat as I'm likely to get it. Okie dokie. So we can put our steel block up. We're done with that for now. And now we need to get these back in shape. See how this one went a little longer than the other one? We'll just get our going to pull this apart a little bit till it goes down to the next one so that we can shape from it. Come on, go down on there. Okay. Now, I really do want it to be up at this smaller size, but I wanted to shape it with this slightly bigger size because that gave us a little bit of the shape before we squish it down to a smaller size. So, there, I think that's pretty good. But now see, this one looks much bigger. So we need to get that there. Now we're going to go back up to this other size. See how close we are to each other now. This one looks rounder. And as you can see, it is rounder, so we want to try and fix that a little bit. Either getting this one a little bit rounder or getting this one a little more oval. One or the other has to happen. I think this one needs to be a little rounder. So just get that on and squish it around there. Let it move up to the next one. Bring her out a little bit because she's squished in pretty good. Now they're much better. Though this one looks to be down a little bit more on its loop. Though we do need to tighten our loops up. As you can see, they've opened up some. So we'll go in with our pliers again and just tighten them up. Oop. This one tightened, but this one doesn't seem to have tightened as much as I wanted to. So okay, we'll do the same with this side. Get these loops tightened back up. And then we'll see how they are matching up now. Well, they're still a little bit off from each other, but it's not drastic. So I think we may just let it be at that. Get these as flat as possible. They bow a little bit when you hammer them, so you want to get them back to this. There we go. This one's a little wonky still. Looking relatively good. They're still a wee bit off from each other. I think this one is still more rounded than this, but I don't think it's an atrocious problem. The problem is right here. See how this one goes up straighter right here? Just see if I can round that just a hair's breadth there. That's better. So then these two are done. We can set those aside, and now we'll start back over here with these. So it's a simple matter of just putting the beads on in the order that you decided you wanted them. Okay, we want our charm on right now, so let's grab that small one right here. We'll open her up. Put the charm on. Make sure it's closed. And then we can feed it on the wire as well. It's going to hang right there. So now we want our you know what? I think I'm going to make a small improvisation here. Be back in just a second. Decided to add a few more small spacers around the charm here. And now it looks like I put this on backwards, and technically I guess I did, but it doesn't really make much difference because I haven't put the ear wire on, and that's the only thing that's going to say front and back. Well, that and these will go on the front, in front of these ones here. So there's how that's going to look. I'll get the other turn put in, and then this will sit in the middle. So let's do the other turn up. So it's going to look like so, with that there. So before I put this together, I'm going to do the other ones so that I know that they are at about the same place as far as size and stuff is concerned, that I don't mess that up. Oops. Now we have to put our, where is it? There we go. Put our charm on its jump ring. Guess it would help if I got the right pliers, however. Onto the loop. Let's see, a little one. Oop. Come back here, you. Okay, there. And the last little one. Come on, you go on there. There we go. Now we need to turn our loop. See how close they are to each other. I think they're pretty good. So now the next step is to put them together. So we'll need to put one of these in each. And actually I noticed that one's popped up a little bit, so we need them to be the same spot. So there we go. Do the same, or a little bit, not too bad. Okay, so then we'll put these together like so. And in order to do that, we need to use our large jump rings. Now this is where I was saying that we needed to use the large ones, because the smaller ones, which they would fit on there, but if I put them on the smaller ones, what would happen is that one wire would go down in the groove here, and then the other one would go up higher, and then one would sit higher than the other one. Whereas with the bigger ones, it allows both of the wires to sit side by side. So then they don't pop up so much. They probably will pop up a little bit, but not to a great extent. See, here's what I'm talking about. See how the wires are sitting down, both of them down there in that groove? If the smaller one was used, one would be up higher like this, and that just would not be good. So now we'll put the second wire jump ring on here. Okay, now we'll take our little jump ring here, open it up. Now see how this is going this way and this is over the top, and that's how I want it to be. So now we're going to put our two wires like so. Now this is the front, so we want to face this on the front way, and then close her up. And this one earring here is finished. Isn't that pretty? So again, the two big ones, pulling these together, and then the small one to bring it all together. And that will finish off the second earring. Now, if your charm was two-sided, it wouldn't make any difference where it was at. And I prefer to have the second bar in the front. You don't have to. It can go in the back if you would rather have it there. Though it won't make as big a signature if it's in the back. It will... It will sort of meld back there. Even though, you know, it would still look pretty. It would just, see how if I were to turn this way, See how it sort of goes to the back? I preferred it coming to the front, so that's the way I do it. If you would prefer it going to the back, then go ahead and put it to the back. Okay, now this is the back, so we want the back of the ear wire to go here, so we'll put it on this way. Okay. And there we go. There's our second earring. Oh, they're done. Aren't those pretty? I really love the thistle. But then I'm part Scottish, so maybe that's why I like the thistle so much. Who knows? But there they are, our finished earrings. I really like them. So anyway, there are our pretty earrings. These are using our Wonderland kit from SoftFlex wire. I really love my little thistle, how I painted it. Turned out really nicely. They're going to be about so long. I think they turned out great. I really like them. I hope you liked making them with me. This has been Rose from In Rose's Garden. We'll talk to you later.